Alright, welcome back everybody. My name is Atris. Today we're playing Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today we're playing on Orena against a Protoss player named Dariusha. And this is going to be a marathon one. Full disclosure, it's going to be a 27-minute and 53-second long game. I am going to speed it up for most of the game. It'll be at least ×2 for the whole game. Build order is only going to go to 6 minutes, and then I'll have a few little things at up until 8 minutes, but then that'll be it. So we'll go gateway first, or pylon 14, and then a 16 gateway. I do see him at a minute 5, so I'm thinking, oh crap, this is going to be a cannon rush or something. I do see him sitting there. So I chase him around, and I decide to go against going Nexus first. Then I said, screw that, I'm going to anyway. So I drop it at 17. I also drop my double assimilators at 17. And I go and I scout him. And drop 2 more pylons at my natural. And begin making my filling up my assimilators. Cybernetic score goes down in about 2 minutes 15, which is about 20 supply. And filling both of them up, and then filling up my mineral line. I'm going to drop another gateway at about 22, and I still notice that he hasn't expanded yet, so I'm going to go back in and check it out. Mothership cores coming out at 23 to 25. Still see, kind of nothing. So I'm expecting a push, like 1 base 4 gate sort of attack. And so I'm chronoing out a stalker and another gateway coming out while I'm fully saturating this second base. I'm also getting a stalker from my other base, and I just now start cybernetic core warp gate because I forgot. So that's my bad. Now I'm making some more pylons just in case he's going to go maybe Stargate. I had that quite a lot today, so I don't know what the deal is. Robotics facility going down for defense against maybe some fast DTs. I've had that a lot today as well. And my sentry's coming out now. I had him queued up just in case you didn't know after the first stalker. He is for defense and for scouting later on. Dropping 3 more gateways total, but double assimilators at my natural. On double observers, and then after my observers I'm going to start my immortal build. The plan, I didn't really have one for this. It ended up being immortal stalker sort of build. Twilight Council went down at about 5 minutes 30. I have my base fully saturated. I did just kill an observer I saw, and so I'm gonna warp in some stalkers. I assume that it's going to be DTs next. Because of the stalker, and I'm going to the observer. I'm going to send my hallucinated phoenix while I'm still warping in and sending my observer over. I see that his second base is down now, and he's got Twilight Council, immortal. I didn't see the Dark Shrine, so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just an immortal stalker push. But if he's pushing me, then I've at least got I've got defense on my side. But having said that, 6.5 minutes already. We're going to go down and start my Nexus. I'm also starting Blink, dropping 2 forges, and keeping my immortal count going. It's actually about 6 minutes 50 before I actually get the Nexus down. I'm also going to drop a pylon for defense. Now, I do see that he's got his warp prism, and then I see the shade of the...
I return to serve.
You can see all of the DTs. That's why I make robotics facility. I was able to catch it quickly before I lost too many probes, and he dropped 3, by the way. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 2 down, waiting on the third. He just gets out of my sight, and send my probes back. They can get back to work, and blocking that. And then I realize, okay, well, there he is, right there. He ran over there. So I'm gonna run over there, making 2 more observers, I'm going to just spread them all out over the map and get them to work for me. Now, then I remember I do have my third base, and he can just easily go there and try and snipe it down. Now, after that, I begin making defensive photon cannons, excuse me, so that I don't have to come back and defend this place should he do some more DT drops. And I'll be doing it at my third base as well. 8 photon cannons in all, and observers moving around. I'm going to counter-attack this since he didn't really get anything done. He must have heavily invested into this DT, so I'm going to go see if I can punish him. Like I said, dropping down some photon cannons. Continuing to make observers. I want as much sight as I can. I do see that he's getting a third, and you know, moving across the map isn't always the best idea, but I was able to get some kills, able to push him back a wee bit, and I don't completely want to challenge that. I do definitely want to challenge this third base. I want to make sure that he doesn't expand into it there. Gonna warp in some more stalkers, gonna move them across the map, and I'm going to try and keep him in his base from now on. And we're going to go ahead and speed things up. You can see that I'm flooding a lot of Vespene gas, making another immortal, dropping a Templar Archives, and trying to fully saturate my third base as well. While still challenging a wee bit, I do notice that he's got an immortal. So okay, let's push a wee bit. Photon overcharges, pull back a little bit. I'm just trying to cause problems, but you can see that he's got a lot of money saved up. Probably for another big DT push or the like, or immortals, which is actually what he ends up going. But I'm flooding minerals a lot too, so I just warp in. Should have been 6. I accidentally clicked 7. High Templar, straight away making them the Archons. I'm not planning on using Storm at all, and I'm going to drop 3 more gateways and starting my 1-1 on attack and defense. Like I said, this is a pretty long game. We're already at 10 minutes and we've not really done
Base is under attack.
But I do see when I engage that he's got 3 immortals now, and if my immortals were in front with my Archons, this game would probably have been over right now. Unfortunately, my unit composition is good, but my positioning is bad.
Here in the shadows.
You can see that my observer on the minimap is controlling the gold base, and you can see a little speck there. I have noticed that, and I'm continuing to keep a watchful eye on it. It's either an observer or it's a warp prism. Turns out it's a warp prism. But he was able to challenge and push me back, so I'm just running away, and we're just going to go the long way around. But you do see on the minimap that it just started moving, and so did I. So I'm just going to warp in a bunch of stalkers here real quick and snipe down that, and no problems.
I'm here in the shadows.
So I've been being attacked by this wee probe. You gotta love it. But so my 1-1's just about done. I'm going to change all those to warp gate. I am going to go 2-2 here in just a minute, but I'm just about to need to move out of my base, so I'm going to be dropping the
Upgrade complete.
As well. Excuse me.
In the shadow.
Dropping some more pylons. I'm supply blocked, as you can see, and we're going to engage once more. Now you can see from our supply count that we are fairly even, except he's got a lot more immortals than I do, and he just tears through me, unfortunately. So I pull back, decide to run away. I need to use my buildings as sort of a wall, so I'm just going to pull back and keep challenging, keep him on me instead of him trying to go to my third base. I'm going to warp behind here and sort of challenge from back here. And I lose everything that I warped in just now, which is unfortunate. I didn't really get anything for them. Mothership core's coming out, so she'll be able to sort of help defend as well. and I'm going to be dropping. I decide, okay, well, let's go disruptors. Then if he's going to go stalker heavy, we're going to go disruptors.
I'm
We're going to
here in the
wipe him out.
shadows.
So I
Mineral
drop a
field
robotics bay.
depleted.
I
Mineral field
uh,
depleted.
move my stalkers out so that I can more easily defend my third and my fourth, which is going down in about 13 minutes. Going to make well, nothing there. I thought my robotics bay was already done. So I'm going to be starting 2-2 just now. And I check my opponent here in a minute, and he doesn't have really anything. Excuse me. Warping in 2 more High Templar, making another Archon. And I think I'm warping in another 2 so I can make another Archon. Now, I'm going to send this Observer to his fourth and then his third. I want to see if he's expanded past that. I do see on the minimap that he's dropped a pylon. And I'm starting my Disruptor. And I've actually got 2 queued up. I am warping in another round of Stalkers as well. And beginning to saturate my fourth base as well. Because I am lacking a little bit on probes. Now I do see that he hasn't expanded into his fourth. I do see that he's got his third, but it more than likely just went up here a minute ago because it's not fully saturated as far as the Vespine gas is concerned. First disruptor's out. I'm going to hotkey him to 2 just so that I can get it to 2 and feed real quick. And just sort of getting set up. You can see that his supply count is considerably higher than mine. He had a really good engagement that last one, and unfortunately, I fell behind. And I think he might have been able to win should he have pushed. But it's a very he would have been able to win, I think, at that juncture. But it's a very back and forth game, and it was a lot of fun, but it was definitely draining. Going to bring in my simulators in my fourth base. Going to warp in a whole other round of stalkers. You can see that our supply count is getting a little bit closer. Going to put my disruptors together, and we're going to go move out. I'm also starting 3-3, and I'm feeling pretty confident about my my unit composition now. I'm going to just throw in some zealots and going to send them to the Zelnaga Tower, but then I remember that that's on the map, so I'm going to go knock out that pylon. I don't want him to be able to warp in anywhere he wants. So I'm still checking the third. Still got not the third. I'm sorry. Both gold bases. I've got both of them covered. So I'm going to send this observer again to his fifth now, and then to his fourth. Again, I want to make sure when he's expanding and where he's expanding, because I need to know. Obviously, need to know that, and I'm getting kind of low on my natural, so I will be moving to a fifth as well. I see on the minimap that I'm engaging right now, so pull back, and I do see a disruptor ball, so I know that he's on pretty much the same unit composition as I am. So he shoots one in, shoots 2, 3 in, he gets one good shot, and I send 2 in, and I'm able to connect pretty well. And that evens it out and gives me just the ever so slight advantage if I had had all of my stalkers. You can see that they were standing doing nothing, and unfortunately now all I've got is stalkers against five immortals and 3 archons. My stalkers are not going to do very well. Unfortunately, if all of my stalkers were there, the game might have been very different right there. But my zealots, I forgot to say after. Oops. After I had killed this pylon, I had actually moved them from there up to here, up to here, and then down to his fourth. So they did some work. They actually cleared out his dark shrine, which was right here. I do have my observer sitting here, just so he can watch and make sure that everything's good to go. So back to the player camera and back to play. So they're going to town, and those Zealots are pretty strong now. They've got
Mineral
2-2.
field
I'm
depleted.
going to be building my 5th base and bringing in a bunch of pylons defensively and
Vespene geyser exhausted.
just to make sure that if I do lose any pylons, I've got plenty to keep my max count at 200. Now you can see from his production tab that he's going Colossus. I'm going to warp in 4 more, 5 more
Upgrade complete.
High Templar. Going to be making 2 more Archons and
Upgrade
putting my
complete.
other High Templar just in my army on accident. Now I'm going to start shield +1. Not really for anything in particular, just because. I have also started 4 more gateways. I'm tired of this small warp in, so I'm going to warp in 4 stalkers and then 5 more zealots who now have charge, I believe, and have 3-3. So they're pretty powerful, things, and they don't have charge, unfortunately. I'm starting charge now, and I'm also chronoing out. I'm getting observer speed, but you can look at my mini-map. I have great sight on the map. We can change it to my opponent just real quick, and you can see that his sight is not nearly as good. I've got, I think, 6 observers on the map, and I've got sight of a bunch of his units, a bunch of his area. I definitely am going to know when he moves out because I've got the middle lane completely covered. I'm also dropping my 6th base and just continuing to warp in stalkers and High Templar so that I can make the Archons.
Research complete.
And again, more zealots. I do see that he's taking his 5th, so I'm going to send my zealots up there, my 3-3-1 zealots, and going to go up there. They're just about to have charge. They just get it right when they engage. So 6th is going down, 5th is just about fully saturated, 3rd is getting cleaned up, and my zealots are doing some work up there in the top right corner. Warping in, now we're at 200, so our unit count is completely maxed, and these zealots, I'm like, okay, well, these guys are just going to die, they're just going to cause some problems, but they actually end up killing 2 zealots, an Archon, and 2 stalkers. They actually end up chasing them all the way back to his 4th, so I was able to deny him his 5th, and get into his 4th mineral line, and cause some problems. So, but I'm going to move my stalkers up and around. Going to be moving my Archons and my disruptors up a little bit, just so that I can have I think, a smoother engagement. I do see that he's going to attack, and this is the first time I'm seeing his Colossus. So I'm bringing up my stalkers, bringing up my disruptors. Unfortunately, I put them too far forward, and I don't even get a shot off because he knocks them out. But my Archons are taking a lot of heat, taking out his disruptors, trying to take out all of his base, all of his units, excuse me. Going to make another huge warp in of stalkers, and we're just going back and forth and back and forth. This is a really good game, but this is definitely where I make a decisive victory, and it's definitely because of my my upgrades. He stayed pretty close to me as far as economy, but my upgrades, I'm at 3-3, and hold on a second. I'm at 3-3, and I can't click on him. Let's change it to everyone real quick. I'm at 3-3, and he's at 0-0-0. So the upgrades helped a lot. Now I'm 28 supply up, and I've got a huge round of stalkers coming in, and I'm going to engage these Colossus. Now, having said that, these Colossus are awesome. They've been said that they're worthless in everything because the disruptor replaces them. That's actually not true. I've seen them used and have used them in every matchup, and they are surprisingly good in a lot more matchups than I thought they would be. However, against 3-3-1 stalkers at about 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 of them, a couple of Colossi aren't going to do a whole lot. But anyway, I engage here. He's so far down in supply that he gets up, and this was going to be just the end of the game anyway. But I do want to, to see kind of what he's got going on. He's got double double immortals coming out, and he's got his Templar archives. He's completely emptied out just about 3 bases, going on to his 4th, going into his 5th, just like me. But the game was just about done there. But apparently I lied. It's not a 27-minute game. It's a 23-minute game. But again, really long game. Very fun game. And I noticed that I've got these guys sitting here. I had them sitting there just about the whole time and never did use them. But I'll have the build order up to 6 minutes and some notes up to 8 minutes. And if you like it, click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta!